Today, we do plug wires on blue again, so you can hear this. Alright, so I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right here. So we had to change these boots from these straights to, I got 45s or 90s? I think I got 45s. These right here, no, these are 90s. We got 90s because they keep touching on the headers. And so these, I'll show you right here, is laying on my headers. When I get this in here, this is basically touching there. We got this one touching, and this one right there is touching on the header. And those two aren't even the worst one. This is the worst one. This one right here is touching. It melted this side, and it melted on the other side. So we're gonna change them. This one is, it didn't melt it, but it's darn close to touching. I'm gonna change anyway because I don't want to deal with this again. So I ended up losing spark to a couple cylinders because of this. So these, I said I would review these. I think I drove this truck like 2 or 3 days, and when it finally came up to temp on a warm day is when it finally melted these. So apparently these and heat tape and that stuff is only good for, like, I found some that were good for like 2,000 degrees, and there was other ones that were only good for 2,500 degrees. So if these are laying directly on your header, they will melt through because these get hot. I assume if you wrap the header in, you know, the heat wrap or whatever, and then put these on, you wouldn't have an issue. I'm not doing that. We're gonna go back to the way I had it set up. Is there a better setup for this? Probably. Is there a better way to fix this? Probably. If you guys know, put it in the comments. I'm okay with learning, but I'm gonna put it back the way it was. That's the way I had it. It's been working for 3 years like that, so we're gonna put it back. So we're gonna replace this guy, and the two over there, and I'll show you guys how I do plug wires. Alright, so to start, we got to remove the air cleaner right here, and then you got to take the cap off the distributor, or at least it's the coil cap on top of the actual cap that holds down the coil. So we got to get that off, we got to get this off, and then we can get to the plug wires. There we go, air cleaner is off. And I'll show you why we have to remove the cap that holds the coil down. And you can see right here, this has a lip that's nice for these because it holds these. Now I can get this out. It'll fight, but I can get them out. Sometimes you can get them out, sometimes you can't. It's just easier to take the 4 screws out, pull the coil out, or at least set it to the side and then get your wires out. So let's get to that. So there we go. I just got it up and moved over because there's actually wires it plugs into the distributor. Already got the plug wire removed, so let's get doing a new one. Alright, so this is what I do, guys. I assume a lot of you guys already know how to do this. So what you do is just you first take them, you get them to the length you want them. These were here. They were, I did them a little too short, so we're going to cut them up here this time. Take them up here, cut your wire. And then what I like to do is take a razor blade and just cut around the edge right here. So cut this off. Then you got your little wire exposed. Should probably cut it back a little bit more. Alright, once you got it like this, I like to cut the rest of this crap off right here. At least most of it. Once you get it like this, you can take one of these guys. Right here. And you're going to take this, and I'll show you right here. You take this, fold it back here, right? Now these things need to really be crimped into this boot, because if not, they will pull out. And let me tell you, I have had them pull out, but that's all part of learning. You get them pushed into that boot. There's a wire casing, and you'll see how it's pinched in there. Give it a tug, you're good. Then you're going to take some lubricant. I don't care what kind of lubricant you use, and you're going to spray this end here, and you're going to spray this boot, because if not, you're never going to get this thing in there. So let's get this thing sprayed. Now you see how easy this is? You just want to get it lined up in there. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this. You probably can't. Yeah, you can't see in there, but you get it lined up so that when you push it down on the cap, it will snap right on there, and you can twist it, and it's easy because you got this grease on it. All right, so that's number one. Now, last part, you guys seen us put it all back together, right? Well, since then, I started it. It was not running right. These little buggers, if you couldn't tell in the thing, were giving me a hard time about going on. They just didn't want to clip right. And then you seen how the cap and everything came apart. They clipped on pretty decent up there. Boy, they fought me down here. I had to take a vice grip, squeeze them in, but we got them. But this is what ended up being wrong with it. Was not running right. You got two plugs right here. I'll show you guys. Got two little plugs in the bottom of this carburetor. Right there. Both of them dry rotted, sucking air. Not good. There's one on the back, but it was not leaking. I took it down the road after I put the plugs on, timed it. It's almost right there. It needs a little bit more advance. I'm not going to give it to it right now. It's alright the way it is. I can drive it for a while. Next time I warm it up, I'll probably take it, advance it up a little bit. But on it, run good. Sounds great now. Plugs, they're not going to melt anymore. I'm excited about that. Them little boots didn't slide over the elbows real great, but I got them enough so they're not laying on the headers. The other thing is, too, I'll show you guys here. I'm sure some people are going to be like, hey, but it's still touching your header up here. It's going to melt. This gets hotter, way hotter. This is where your exhaust is actually coming from. I had them before at elbows laying dead on these. Thought they were going to melt. Never melted. This flange does not get as hot as this right here, this tube. So, but I got these laying on it. That'll stop it. They just didn't feel right going on, but they're on. So hopefully they stay. If they don't stay, I will come back and squeeze them more with the vice grip to get them to stay. But as of right now, they're as on as they're going to get. I don't know why this little bugger is like that. I don't like that. So, fix that. That looks better. No, it doesn't. That looks better. So anyhow, we got it running right. I'm excited. We'll give you guys a startup right now.